Trump's weekly address.
Every citizen has the right to be protected by federal law. And when politicians in California break those laws, they violate the constitutional rights of their citizens.
President Trump is ramping up his attacks on California, accusing the state's officials of putting Americans at risk over their sanctuary policies. The president used his weekly address to highlight the dangers of jurisdictions that harbor and protect illegal immigrants. He outlined how, by defying federal law, California officials are allowing criminals and drugs to take over communities. The president says actions by those California politicians and Democrats have made the security of U.S. citizens uncertain. He calls the situation out of control.
Democrats in Congress are doing everything in their power to undermine immigration enforcement and encourage illegal immigration. Their policies are putting all of America at risk. It is so bad, it's hard to believe what they're doing and why they're doing it. We can't let it continue.
The president applauded Orange County, which voted to join the administration's lawsuit against the state in an effort to end the state's sanctuary policies. He's asking other community leaders to join the federal government and help stop these sanctuary policies so dangerous criminals can be removed from the streets and peace can be restored. The president ended his address by saying he will not rest until the country's borders are secured and the rule of law is reestablished. Eric Solomon, One America News.
And Arizona Governor Doug Ducey announces the state is deploying around 150 of its National Guard troops to the border. Ducey made the announcement in a tweet Friday and noted he's working on deployment plans with the state's National Guard, Department of Defense, and Department of Homeland Security. This comes after Ducey welcomed and supported the president's plan to protect the southern border earlier this week. The troops will be deployed next week. And the president is increasing pressure on the U.S. to reform its border laws, which he says have been ineffective in stopping illegal immigration. Here's the latest as the White House's efforts to revamp America's border law.
The White House is continuing to follow through on its hardline stance against illegal immigration. This week, Attorney General Jeff Sessions called on southwestern states to have a zero-tolerance policy when it came to illegal immigration, especially in regard to so-called sanctuary cities.
Sanctuary cities release thousands of criminal aliens out of our prisons and jails and back into our communities. They go into those sanctuary cities. When they see them, they go there because they feel they're safe. And in many cases, they are very bad actors.
Sessions has been working hand-in-hand with Homeland Security on tougher immigration law, following reports that border arrests saw a 37% increase from February into March. Secretary of Defense James Mattis followed suit, approving a decision to deploy as many as 4,000 National Guard troops to conduct border security patrols in border towns throughout Texas and Arizona. According to White House officials, the DoD funding will remain in effect until September 30th. This as President Trump signs a memo calling on Border Patrol officials to quickly end catch and release at the U.S.-Mexico border.
They're also blocking the bed space we need on the omnibus to stop catch and release. Catch and release. We catch a killer, we have to release him. Democrats' priority is to protect criminals, not to do what's right for our country.
The move would end the long-standing policy of releasing illegal aliens back into the U.S. after they've been detained by immigration officials. President Trump has called the practice a dangerous violation of our nation's immigration laws, saying it must end within 45 days. The president also called on congressional Democrats to end their stalemate on increasing border security, saying his top priority is to make sure our country is protected and our laws are respected.
Many conservative fiscal hawks are not pleased with the massive omnibus package passed last month and are now looking to mitigate the damage. Over the past week, President Trump and House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy have proposed clawing back the $1.3 trillion spending bill. The bill passed the House less than 24 hours after being released to the public. Once again, in an effort to keep the government open, Republicans want to change congressional rules to allow the chambers to make changes to the bill using only a simple majority. The move has garnished praise from prominent congressional conservatives who say the bill is irresponsible.
Look, the omnibus is a total mess. It's $1.3 trillion in spending. It grows the debt. It grows the deficit. It grows just about every part of the federal government. And it really is, it's a product of the swamp.
However, lawmakers looking to rescind portions of the bill say they'll only move forward, that is, with the support of House Speaker Paul Ryan. A spokeswoman for Ryan has since said the Speaker's office is engaged in talks with the White House in hopes of solving the issue. Japan activates their first elite group of Marines since the end of the Second World War. About 1,500 of the amphibious troops assembled for a ceremony today on one of Japan's southwestern islands. They also performed an exercise simulating the retaking of an island from hostile forces. The group is part of an effort to establish a larger military force in the face of Chinese expansion in the Western Pacific. A Defense Ministry spokesman says the troops are intended to protect Japanese territory. And this week has been filled with major headlines in the U.S. and abroad. One America's Rachel Senes takes us through the top stories of the week.
The week kicks off with President Trump and First Lady Melania hosting the annual Easter egg roll on the South Lawn of the White House.
Are you ready? Would you report yes? Come on up this
Real